Hello everyone, welcome to another haul vid. Now this is a bit of a combination of a haul vid. It's not just Transformers, I have picked up a few other bits over the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to be showing you a little bit of a mishmash, but it's more Transformers than anything. I should also point out, if I sound croaky and I'm sniffy and if I blow my nose at all at any point during this video, I've got hay fever at the moment because it's been great weather, which normally when I was younger was fantastic, but for some reason in the 30s I developed, in my 30s I should say, I developed hay fever, which is bizarre. Anyway, get into the haul. Now a couple of weeks ago I did get out to, I didn't go to boot fairs, I actually went to a sci-fi convention. Now if you're familiar with Only Norris, Matt's put up a video not that long ago from an actual sci-fi convention that we both went to. Unfortunately, as much as we had a look through him, and both myself and my other half were walking around trying to find Matt, we couldn't find him anywhere, and unfortunately I had to go. We had to have sort of dinner, and as it turned out I got called into work in the afternoon anyway, so it's just as well I hadn't been there that long, otherwise that would have mucked up me getting something to eat as well. So it's a real shame that we didn't bump into each other, and I believe there was another YouTuber who's I'm subscribed to, who's into his Star Wars stuff. I think it's something like Star Wars Fan or something like that. It's 1977, something like that. Who also did some video of the actual convention. So if you want to check out what we saw down there, that's a good sort of thing. I would do it, but if you're familiar with my videos, you know I'm not that technically minded to actually upload any video from my smartphone. But anyway, getting to the haul, which is what you're actually here to see. I did manage to find a Transformer. Now, technically speaking, I did see another one down there, I am Denard, but I'd already spent too much money, and it was just as well I didn't go off and find a cash point, or I'd have ended up spending more. But I did find one that I like. It's not fantastic, but it is a good crossover between the two toy lines that I've always enjoyed, and it's a Star Wars Transformer. It's a crossover, I think it's the AT, is it PT? It's like the 6-leg tank from Attack of the Clones. It's a bit of a shell former, which, to be brutally honest, is pretty much a good sum up of a lot of the Star Wars Transformers. But in its actual vehicle mode it's pretty good, and it's a good crossover between the two toy lines, like I say. So it'll look nice in the collection. You have to excuse me. Sorry about that. When I got home, oh actually I should show you something else I got while I was down there. I did also get a couple of autographs. Now the first autograph is the actress who played Ula, the slave girl. Now I think for the life of me I cannot read her signature, and I cannot think of her name offhand, so you have to excuse that. But I got her signature to myself and my other half, and also one that we were particularly happy to get because it is a fun character from the original films. Also got Admiral Akbar's signature. It's the guy, I believe it's the guy who sort of played the part and was the puppeteer, Tim Rose. You can actually read his writing, so I was quite chuffed to get his one, and he has signed it. It's a trap, so he obviously has heard that requested so many times that he's actually putting it on himself. Now it's not my biggest haul for sort of one weekend, but when I got home, you have to excuse me again, because you don't want to see my drippy nose on the internet. When I got home, my nephew had been round, and he'd left waiting for me one of his original Transformers, which he's replaced with one in better condition, and that's fair enough anyway. And he's left me Armada Scavenger with his Minicon. He's missing his missile, and he's got a bit damage to his arm, which I've sort of super glued in place temporarily. Still moves around reasonably, but there's problems with the mechanism inside, so it's one I've got to try and sort out. But I mean, I always appreciate that anyway. It was good of Ben, my nephew. Really nice as well to have the Minicon 2 with that. So that was a nice little surprise that I wasn't expecting. Excuse me. Anyway, but that was my first weekend, which was not, I'm trying to think, not last week, I think it was the week before. Now last week, I never got a chance to do an actual haul vid, though I had been out to an old couple of boot fairs. Didn't find a great deal. Now I'll show you what I did find that week. Now I'll start with a couple of junkers. I found a junker of one of the more modern aerial bot combiner. It's missing one of his legs, so it's the lower part of the fuselage, and his weapons. Mainly got that just for spares, and it was in a bag anyway of all of these bits together, so I had to buy it together. There was a junker of a animated bulkhead, and he's missing his arms and a couple of other bits of them, so thinking there's a back piece missing off there as well. A Cyberverse Jetfire from the movie line, which is missing one of the thrusters, so again it's one, if I just pick up other bits I might be able to sort it out. Probably pass that one on, I think I already got it anyway. And oh, excuse me, this is not fun having constantly running nose. Another one of the aerial bot combiners, though bodily this one's complete. It is missing its weapons, but not a bad one, and I think actually this is a different coloration from the actual combiner set I've already got, so I'll probably keep hold of that one. And in amongst the bag of bits, and oddly, is the McDonald's wind-up toy, which actually is a model of the Star Wars Transformer that I picked up, so that was a bit of a weird coincidence. And I did pick up a couple of robot heroes. Now the first one I've already got, which is Brawl, so that's another spare which can go to somebody at some point. And I did actually pick up a different movie Bumblebee, which I don't actually have, so I was quite pleased to pick that one up. Again, I think all of those bits from the boot fair only came to about £1. But in amongst them, I also picked up a couple of Battle Beasts. Now I never had these when I was growing up, and they are quite a little bit of fun. Now they were sort of like running parallel to the sort of Transformer line of the G1, and if I remember correctly, on some of the later episodes I think they made some sort of like little crossover where the Transformers met these guys. They worked very similar. This one's missing these little rub sign, but they actually do have a little rub sign to denote which faction they belong to, because as with any sort of cartoony related toy line, they were goodie and baddie. So I'm not sure if I've got two goodies or two baddies there. Like I say, not familiar with the toy line, but so rarely come across these things, I just picked them up for the fun side of it. And that was that haul for that week, which was a bit poor. Now, this week, however, has been better. Excuse me. This week I found a reasonable array of bits. Now, I shall start with small bits and junkers. One of the first small bits I got was a Cyberverse ratchet, which again I possibly have, so that might be one what I can do some deals with, swap for, whatever. So, but it's a good figure, that one. That is a better one than the original mould of the ratchet. I found, actually we'll do it this way, I found a bag, well, actually my other half spotted this, so I should thank her for that. A bag containing the Transformers Universe Minicon set. The only one what's got some damage is the little Apache helicopter. The other complete sort of ones are all in there, and it's the whole set. So if I remember rightly, that was about £20 when it was in the shops when it was new. Got that for £1, £1.50, something like that. So again, quite pleased about that. I suppose another little small one which I got, which I do like and I will keep, because as I find these bits I will sort of hang on to them. I found a bot shop which I believe is locked down from the animated line. So another bot shop. I blame you. You know I'm talking about Ed. And now we get to the next bits. Now some of them, well actually all of them, are missing something, something or other. And I'm juggling, wiping my nose and showing you these things. The first one is a Transmetal, and it's Rhinox. Now I believe he's missing a couple of bits from these sides which peg in and sort of like fold round. I'm guessing it's like a side cover part, and obviously his weapon, which is his horn as well. But generally speaking, the figure itself is in pretty tidy condition, so I still picked it up because, like I say, and I've obviously said before, I often find different bits and bobs, and I might well find the weapons or even find it in amongst a lot of other stuff, so I can always sort that out. Let's stick that one over there. Now I believe this is one of the Fusor line Transformers, and I think, from correct, it's something like Skyhammer. Now he's missing the hammerhead shark part, which I think clips on the back here, but other than that, the rest of the actual bot is more or less there and complete and in tidy condition. So again, it's a bit I've got to sort out, find another part for. Excuse me again. The next one is one I've actually picked up before. Was hoping it might have done me some spares, but I'm not sure it's actually got the right part I needed, ironically. But it's in amongst a lot I got anyway, which was the Fusor of Spitor. Not a Fusor, sorry, a Beast Wars Spitor. The next one I got, I'm not sure of the name of this guy, so, well, actually a couple of these guys, so you could probably help me out and save me a bit of looking up on the internet. Get fed up of hay fever, that's for sure. And quite like it because I was always a bit of a fan of the Insecticons, and it is, I suppose you could call it a, oh, get that focus, it is a type of stag beetle, something like that, or a longhorn beetle. He's missing one of his front legs, and he's missing one of the little robot feet, which helps it peg in underneath to help tie in that side. But other than that, I think he is complete. Quite a nice sort of thing. I haven't even figured out how to transform this guy yet. I tried. I've managed to get him into the sort of beetle mode. The robot mode is a mystery, and when I eventually find out who he is, if I can find out how to transform him, will be a bonus. Like I say, he's only missing a foot in the robot mode, so I'm hoping I can sort him out at some point. The next one, again, don't know the name of, but it's another Beast Wars character, and although initially you may think it's Aerarachnid, it is in fact a lobster or a shrimp, and the only parts he's missing is a couple of the little bits what form, I suppose, toes on his feet, which are these sort of fin parts, and a set of the legs for underneath for the actual sort of lobster shrimp sort of mode. But other than that, quite good. I thought at first it was Scorponok from the Beast Wars line, but obviously it's not. So yeah, so that's another mystery one, but again, a nice little pickup anyway. The next two, I'm thinking this is one what's called Night / Cheetor, it's something like that. It is Cheetor, but I think it's Beast Machines, I think it's from. It's a little bit tatty in places, but other than that, not too bad. It is missing, I think, a couple of parts. There's a part there what's showing that something should be clipped onto, and obviously there would be some sort of tail weapon, I think, for him as well. But without researching this guy yet, I'm not absolutely certain what he could have come with. But other than that, the main part of the figure is complete, and not too bad. Some of the chrome's a little bit worn in places, but still a nice little pickup, and always worth keeping hold of for spare parts if I find another one. I can sort them out between the two. And then I've found another Transmetal. Now this one I believe is missing a few bits, and it is of course Dinobot. Now I'm sure that there should be something else up here on his chest. I may be wrong, and if I bring that in, or I might have just mistransformed it. And of course he's got no tail weapon part, but yeah, I think other than that he's nearly all there. I'm not sure, not absolutely sure on that, because I've still got to check out how to do his transformation to get it correct. But the one thing I will note is the fact that all these hose parts, which I've seen on a lot of others break, are actually all there and all complete, undamaged. So, you know, that is always the thing, that if I find another one and it's got those bits damaged but the rest of it's complete, I can sort it out. So quite pleased to pick that up. It was one of the Transmetals that I was looking for. And I suppose rather than getting into quite the miscellaneous bits just yet, at the same time this week my nephew was also having a sort out in his loft, and he came across his boxes from some of his Beast Wars and Beast Machines figures. So he found his Rampage box. Now he's lost the toys. At some point he lent them to, I think, a cousin of his, who he never got them back, and that cousin has long since got rid of them, so that was nice of him. So I've got Rampage's box now. I've got Rampage's getting there for getting completed, so when I finally do sort him out I shall do a review. One that I don't have as yet, but I do want to get, is Depth Charge from the Beast Wars line, but I've got his box now at least. Do like that figure. Keep seeing the Action Man sort of thing, what's similar to it, and I keep thinking, oh, it's Depth Charge, and it isn't. It's just some sort of Ray type vehicle thing he used to go along in. Another one I have got, and technically speaking I've got complete, excuse me, that I haven't actually got round to fixing yet, is Transquito, which I've now got the box and the instructions for now. So once I've sorted out between the two I've picked up and can complete him, I will finally have that and I can put it in the box. And the other one, which again is missing a couple of bits, which I picked up the other week, is of course the Transmetal Optimus Primal. So I've got a box for him as well now. You know, I know they look a little bit beaten up, but I don't actually mind, because at least it gives me the chance to actually have a look. And something else I should note before I have to wipe my nose again is actually on the back of the box. Now I did a review of Transmetal Pterosaur, which is ironically standing next to the camera as I speak. They've got the pictures on the back of the box. Now if I can bring that in, if you look at the middle picture, which is, if I can get my finger in the right place, there, the transformation I did where I wasn't certain about his middle mode, his sort of like vehicle-ish mode, is not actually a million miles away from the actual proper transformation, so it wasn't a bad guess on my part. And if you freeze it at the point where I was just showing you the box, you'll get a rough idea how to do that middle transformation. But yeah, I was quite pleased with myself in that sense, because I had actually sort of figured it out in my own head. Now getting to the last of the bits I've picked up. I've just got to lean down here to get them. I actually found a few interesting little bits. Now there's a few to come which aren't Transformer, I'll do them last, but the Transformer bits I picked up, now this is only 5 years old, so it's not that old, but it's a thing I haven't actually tried yet, and it's got some bits of video, well, as it says, videos, character profiles, printouts, wallpapers, competitions and much more. And it was free with a Beano Max, which I assume is the comic, and it's a 25th anniversary special CD-ROM, and the CD is perfect, there's not a scratch on it. So, and it's got sort of clips from when the first movie was coming out, so it gives you a rough idea how long ago it was. So hopefully that's going to play on my computer and I'll be able to have a bit of fun with that. But the real sort of classic-y bits. Now I've got the Ladybird books with these stories, but I actually found a special edition 2-story set book. Now it was only available, if you can make that out in the corner, from BHS, which is British Home Stores, which is a shop chain over here in England. So I found this little book, which is fantastic. That cost me a grand total of £1, and it is, if I open it up, it's not the greatest sort of like storylines or artwork in these old books, but they were modelled along, if you look at the way the characters are drawn, they're modelled very much along the line of the actual toys rather than how the characters are drawn in the fiction. Yeah, so a grand total of £1 for that, so I thought that's pretty good. I also found on the same stall a G1 Minibot. So I found Beachcomber. Now he is complete, he's got a bit of damage, he's missing his sort of top part of his rubber sign, which obviously won't work now, and he's got a little chunk of the rubber out of the one tyre, which again is nothing really when you consider this guy's getting on 30 years old, 29, bordering on getting to 30. Other than that, he's in great nick, so I was chuffed to pick that up, and he cost me a grand total of, I think he was 20p. And now this is something, now I have to admit a little bit of guilt, because the guy that was selling this, and this is from a boot fair yesterday, looked very sad to be selling it, and I have to admit there was a pang of guilt in the fact that I brought it off him. But in the same thing, if he ever sees this, at least he knows it's gone to a good home. It's something I never had as a kid, and I have seen for sale before, but haven't necessarily bothered to pick it up because obviously people overcharge for stuff and that. Other than a little tiny bit of damage to the box, I picked up for £2 the old, from 1986, original board game of the Transformers. Great bit of sort of like retro game fun with a board game. Everything is there, the dice, all the playing pieces, all of the cards, and it's in, on the inside it's absolutely mint condition. He obviously didn't play with it a lot, but he was obviously sad to see it go, and I can understand for £2, to be honest. For the fact of £2, I think I would have hung on to it myself, but that's what he wanted, so I was quite happy to pay for that. Like I say, great bit of Transformers, what do you call it, paraphernalia, but yeah, really great, and I shall no doubt play this at some point, even as its instructions, because they're actually, if I show you, they're on the inside of the lid. And I knew instantly this was from '86 because the characters portrayed not only sort of like with the artwork on the box, but inside on the boards themselves, the board of the game itself, are all from the movie line. So this was from the movie era, G1 movie that is. So I was chuffed to pick them up. Now while I was also around this boot fair, I also picked up, which I'm always glad to find, an Action Force figure, and I got the Muton, or whatever you might class it as. Complete, very, very good condition, hardly a mark on him. So I was absolutely chuffed to find him, and he was £1. And then I also found, well actually I'll show you this first, a bit of a classic, bit of fun, a Danger Mouse annual, and again this is in really good nick, and again that was £1, that was from the same seller who had the Transformers book as well. And one of the things I spent a little bit more, and I actually found some vintage Star Wars figures. Now I'm not sure if I've got one of them. I've certainly got one of the others, but you don't mind having a bit more of the same figure because they're more of a army builder sort of thing, but they're near complete with all their accessories. Now the one what isn't absolutely complete is, I think it's, is it Logray, the Ewok Medicine Man, and he's missing his little satchel. But when I saw the fact that the headpiece or cowl, whatever you want to class it as, was there, and his staff was there, I thought I'm having that. Now these cost a grand total of £4 each. By the time I knocked him down a little bit, he actually wanted £15 for the free, but I knocked him down a little bit. But yeah, he's only missing his little pouch, so I was chuffed to find that, because it's always hard to find the accessories for the vintage Star Wars figures. I also found, I think, is it T-Bow? I think it is, another Ewok, and he is complete with all of his accessories, including the axe, little pouch again, and a headpiece. So fantastic, find that. And one which, like I say, I've already got, a bit of an army builder, but actually has got his weapon. Now, I lost the weapon for mine years ago, and I'm pretty sure the ones I've got don't have their weapons, but I actually found a Gamorrean guard with his axe, so very chuffed. And that's about it. So that's my haul for the last few weeks. Not huge, but pretty good. I will hopefully be going out to some more boot fairs next week. It should be a good one. I might be selling at one, so it might only be the one on that day. Whether there's only on the Saturday, I don't know, but I'll have to have a look. But yeah, was chuffed with my finds this week. Some real newer bits and some real retro stuff as well. So yeah, really pleased with that. Hopefully my hay fever will improve. I think it's clearing up a little bit as I'm talking, so I have took some medicine this morning, so hopefully it's going to get better through the day, as I've got to go to work in a while. Anyway, I think that's about it. So hope you've enjoyed this look at the latest bits I've picked up at the boot fairs, and I shall see you again for another haul vid. Although actually, ironically, I should point out, I just watched Black Rabbit's haul vid from his latest boot fair finds, and he found G1 Scorponok, and I thought I'd done a review, and I said to him to check mine out. Apparently I hadn't. Now I'm thinking I went to film it and it ended up sort of like not uploading properly. I don't think I've still got it on like the actual footage anymore, so I may well do a G1 Scorponok review soon. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I shall see you again either for a Transformers review or failing that, another haul vid. Thanks for watching.